I know what it's like to be let down by someone you care about. There's nothing worse than having plans dropped. When someone breaks a promise or is silent when you need them the most, it hurts, it feels unfair, and let's be honest, it can make you question yourself. However, it's important to understand that these painful moments possess hidden power. Your response can either exacerbate the wound or transform the entire situation. Now I want to talk about how you can use tough times to grow yourself and your relationship. And no, this isn't about pretending it didn't hurt or holding your feelings in. It's about discovering the strength in peaceful acceptance, surprising grace unexpectedly, and establishing a new benchmark for handling life's challenges. Let's begin. What will you do that will make you feel strong and make her wonder how you became so unbreakable? First, change the way you think about it. Let's be honest. It hurts when change the way you see it. Someone you care about doesn't live up to your hopes. Maybe she forgot something important, let you down when you needed her the most, or pulled away without telling you why. That kind of loss can make you feel very sad, feeling upset, feeling angry. What if I told you that how you react in these situations can change not only the situation, but also you as a person? Here's the shift in perspective you need to make. What if her actions aren't about you at all? What if her disappointment, pulling back, or failure to follow through comes from her own struggles, fears, or confusion? What if her choices are more about the battles she's fighting inside her than about your value in her life? The Stoics, wise philosophers who have taught us this profound truth, it's not the events themselves that bother us, but how we interpret them. This is what Epicus said. The important thing is how you handle things. So when she breaks your heart, remember that her actions are just a part of her story and not an indication of how valuable you are. This perspective liberates you from unnecessary suffering and enables you to step back with clarity. Imagine a scenario where you have planned a special evening for the two of you and she abruptly cancels for an unclear reason. Before you think she doesn't care or that you're not good enough, consider what's going on. What if she's too busy with work? What if she's going through something she hasn't figured out how to talk about yet? Instead of getting angry or hurt, you could respond with calm acceptance. That answer, I understand. Let me know when you're ready to talk or reschedule. You're showing her that you're not going to let her actions define your worth. This isn't about overlooking bad behavior, it's about maintaining your own sense of peace. And here's the surprising part. When you meet her flaws with acceptance instead of resistance, you surprise her. This is due to the fact that most people anticipate anger, guilt trips, or withdrawal. They seldom encounter calmness. Knowing that you can rise above the situation in a way that prioritizes your inner calm sets you apart. This doesn't mean you don't hold her accountable or tell her what you need. It just means you're going into the situation with strength instead of fear. You're saying, I'm here to understand, not to judge, but I also know my worth and won't let this get to me. If you change your perspective, you become the author of your response instead of the victim of her actions. This not only maintains harmony, but also demonstrates the strength of your character, a quality that garners respect and admiration. Number 2, acceptance is strength, not weakness. This is a sign of strength, not weakness. She just let you down, either by rejecting you, cancelling plans, or not living up to your expectations. She prepares for the usual outburst of anger, argument, or attempt to change her mind, but you respond with something she didn't expect. Okay, with that calm, steady, and constant. Okay with that. This isn't about hiding how you feel or acting like you don't care. It's about controlling your feelings and showing that you're stronger than the situation. Most people think that acceptance means giving up or being passive. But let me tell you something. When you accept what happened without fighting it, you show that your peace of mind is not negotiable. For instance, if she abruptly cancels plans, you might be expected to become upset or insist on an explanation. Instead, you say, "I understand, no worries. Take care of what you need to do." That kind of response is rare and means a lot. It's not about not caring, it's about showing self-control and respect for her and yourself. Acceptance isn't weakness, it's a form of resilience. It says, "I'm not defined by what happens to me, but by how I choose to respond." When you demonstrate your resilience to external events, you radiate confidence. Being cool and sure of yourself makes her look twice. It makes her respect and be interested in you in a way that most people never do. It's common for people to fight, beg, or try to control situations to get what they want. It's tiring, but there's someone who can step back, accept things as they are, and move on with grace. Not forgettable. Actually, by responding with acceptance, you're not only maintaining your own peace, but also providing her with an opportunity to reflect on her actions. She may even start to question her own behavior, because when you don't react emotionally, you make her think about what happened. Your calmness acts as a mirror, revealing to her something unexpected. A man unaffected by circumstances. Seneca said it well. It's not what happens to you that counts, but how you respond to it. This is what Stoicism is all about. Choosing your response instead of letting the situation choose it for you by accepting the moment for what it is. You keep control of yourself, and that kind of power is magnetic. So the next time she lets you down, instead of getting angry or upset, respond with grace and accept what happened, not because it's easy, but because it's the stronger, wiser path. She'll be shocked, and most importantly, you'll still have your self-respect. That's the kind of energy that draws people to you and makes you stand out from the crowd. Now let's take a moment to think about this. Think about this idea of acceptance as strength. Think about how many times we've let our feelings control how we acted. Did we ever act out of anger or try to get our way? Imagine how free you'll feel if you can control your feelings instead of letting them control you. What are your thoughts on this? How do you practice acceptance when you're disappointed? If this is a new idea to you, what part of it makes the most sense? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you don't know what to say, just type, "I choose acceptance over reaction." The way you look could motivate someone else to see things differently, and you might get some new ideas yourself. Number 3. Respond with quiet strength. Respond with quiet strength. When someone lets you down, you might feel angry or like confronting them, but the real strength comes from doing the opposite. Don't try to explain yourself, don't argue your case, and don't try to get closure. Instead, allow your calm and steady demeanor to speak for you. This isn't about being weak or apathetic. It's about self-respect and clarity. Stoics have a word for this way of thinking, apatheia. This doesn't mean being cold or cut off from life. Instead, it means not letting your feelings control you. You can choose how to answer instead of letting your emotions control you. When you practice apathy, you don't hide your feelings. Instead, you learn to control them. You learn to maintain composure in the face of adversity. When someone says something hurtful or disappointing to you, maybe she cancels plans at the last minute or doesn't show up when you needed her, the normal response would be to voice your disappointment, perhaps with a sharp comment or a defensive stance. But instead you just nod, take a deep breath and say, "I understand." You say this not with a sarcastic or bitter tone, but with a genuine acceptance of the moment for what it is. What happens next is fascinating. Your calm, measured response often shocks people because it's so rare. Most individuals are accustomed to confrontations or a noticeable response. But when you respond with quiet strength, You show her and yourself that you are not easily shaken and are not controlled by the ups and downs of the moment. It's not about pretense or games. It's about showing that your peace is more important to you than short-term approval. This level of self-mastery is magnetic. It makes room for both of you to think. She may be curious about why you didn't react the way she thought you would. Your calm energy may even draw her in, as she recognizes its rarity in a world where hasty decisions are the norm. Think of it as planting a seed. You might not see the results right away, but your response and acceptance will grow in a way that arguing never could. While she thinks about it, you can move on with your life and focus on what really matters. Remember that you don't need to control the situation, you only need to control yourself. Grace, answer with quiet power. That's Stoic wisdom at work, and it leads to real peace and confidence. Number 4, let go and level up. Get better by letting go. Holding on to what could have been or what should have been is like pulling a heavy anchor through life. You might think that holding on gives you control, but all it does is make you feel weighed down. Acceptance, on the other hand, sets you free. When she lets you down, don't fight it or try to force something that isn't working. Instead, lean into it with a quiet, unwavering strength. Make the best use of what is in your power, as the Greek philosopher Epictetus said. So, what is in your power? It's not her choices, her deeds, or her feelings. You can change how you react, how you feel, and how you move forward. If she promised to help you emotionally, physically, or otherwise and didn't, you could stew in anger and replay the moment in your mind, or you could ask yourself what this teaches you about her, yourself, and what I deserve. That moment, that choice to accept instead of resist, is where your growth begins. For example, if she cancels plans at the last minute again, instead of venting or trying to make her feel guilty, you could calmly accept it and say something like, "I understand, no worries." Then you could use your energy to do something else, like go to the gym. Reading a book you've been meaning to start or working on a skill that makes you happy isn't meant to make her feel bad or show her what she's missing. You're doing it because your time is valuable and your life is bigger than this moment. The catch: leveling up changes you and how others see you. When she sees you moving forward without anger or bitterness, it will hit her in a way she didn't expect. Those who value themselves attract others. Your calm acceptance and ability to let go and thrive say a lot about your self-respect and confidence. Here's the truth: you don't need her validation, and you never did. The disappointment you feel isn't about her, it's about the expectations you placed on her. But when you let go of those expectations, you open yourself up to something far greater. You start to see your worth clearly, and you realize that her actions don't define you. By embracing acceptance and focusing on your own growth, you're not just letting her down easy. You're showing her and yourself that your peace and progress are untouchable, and that, my friend, is the ultimate power move. So when she lets you down, don't fight, don't cling, let go, level up, and let the world see the strength of a man who refuses to be held back. Now take a moment to pause and really let that sink in. What expectations have you been holding on to that no longer serve you? How can you redirect your energy to become the best version of yourself? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment and share what this makes you reflect on, or if you're ready to affirm your growth, just type, "I'm letting go and leveling up" your story. Your strength and your journey matter. Don't hesitate to share it. Let's build a community of resilience together. Number 5. Make the pain work for you. Pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Think about the hardest times in your life. Those are the times that taught you the most important lessons. the times that made you stop, think, and grow. When someone disappoints you, it's not the end of the journey. Rather, it's a pivotal moment. You can be like Bess and blame them, or you can be strong and respect yourself. The Stoics deeply understood this. What stands in the way becomes the way, as the Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius said. The obstacle isn't there to block your path, it's there to become your road. She promised to support you, yet she failed to show up when it mattered. Or maybe she said she'd call, but your phone didn't ring. The hurt and disappointment are real, but here's where the magic happens. Instead of getting angry, you choose to be calm. Instead of arguing or blaming, you accept what happened because you refuse to let it ruin your peace. When you choose acceptance, you send a strong message to both her and yourself. I won't let this define me. My worth doesn't depend on someone else's actions. That's true strength. And let's be honest, most people don't expect this kind of response when she lets you down. She might be waiting for an argument, a guilt trip, or even the silent treatment. However, when you respond with grace and composure, she pauses, questioning your unwavering resolve. Don't misunderstand me. Acceptance doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you ignore the hurt or put up with bad behavior. Feel the pain, but don't let it consume you. Instead, use it to help you grow. Pain is a tool. Let it show you what you want, what you can handle, and what you won't. If you do that, you might learn that you deserve better communication. Clarity is what the pain is trying to tell you, more work or just more attention, whatever it is. Consider sadness a mirror that shows you what you value and what needs to change. Stoics said we can't change what happens to us, but we can change our response. You didn't cause the disappointment, but you can choose whether it breaks you or shapes you. Every setback is a chance to become stronger and set new goals. The beauty of this approach is that it lets you respond with calm acceptance. Not only do you maintain harmony, but you also demonstrate this to others. People are interested in those who don't let things get them down. Your calmness shows that you value yourself too much to let chaos take over. Over time, this kind of strength and self-respect can change the situation, making her think twice about what she's doing and see how valuable you are. Remember this: you can let your sadness consume you or use it as a chance to become better. Demonstrate to her that you're not just another person acting impulsively, you're someone who chooses to rise above. That's Stoicism in action. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being unshakable. And when you master this, you're not just dealing with disappointment, you're turning it into a tool for growth. 6. Trust in walking away. I must deliver a harsh reality to you, my friend. Feeling good about walking away. Sometimes the best thing you can do when someone lets you down is accept it, and if necessary, walk away. Not out of anger or punishment, but because your peace of mind is worth more than anyone's validation. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Think about that for a moment. Craving her validation, her attention, or an explanation makes you dependent on her actions for your happiness. But stepping back, choosing to accept what's happened without chasing, without demanding, shows incredible inner strength, it tells her, and more importantly, it tells yourself that your self-worth isn't tied to anyone else's approval. Imagine this scenario. She lets you down. Maybe she cancels on you for the third time, or says something dismissive. Instead of calling her out or seeking an apology, you respond calmly. You say, "I understand," and you mean it. You let her know that you're not upset, that you're fine with her decision, and then you let it be. There's no need for over-elaboration or guilt-tripping, just a calm acceptance. That's when the real change happens, and she'll be shocked, because most people would respond with anger or frustration, but you're calm and sure of yourself. It's not about acting like you don't care. It's about realizing that what she did doesn't define your worth. In this case, walking away doesn't mean giving up. It means putting your peace above trying to fix something that may not be yours to fix. It's a quiet, confident way of saying, I'm enough, with or without this. So the next time someone lets you down, channel your inner Stoic and accept it. Respond with grace instead of anger. And if you have to leave, do so with your head held high and your peace intact. That's strength. That's power. And trust me, imagine how freeing it would be to know your worth and not need others' approval. What would it take for you to respond with such calm confidence in your own life? Share your thoughts on this topic in the comments, or just type, "My peace is my power," to reaffirm your commitment to valuing yourself above all else. Your reflections could inspire someone else on their journey of self-respect and inner strength. Number 7. Be her calm in the storm. Consider this. In a world where many people respond to problems with anger or defensiveness, it's uncommon to find someone who maintains composure. Centuries ago, Stoics believed that while you couldn't change what happened, you could change how you handled it. Rome's Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events. Know this, and you'll be strong when she breaks your heart. Show that strength." Picture this situation. If she forgets an important date or doesn't text back when she said she would, you don't nag her or scold her. You just let it go. You don't do this in a passive or dismissive way, but with a quiet confidence that shows you're not upset. When she finally says sorry or explains, you respond by understanding that it's okay. Life happens. I hope that straightforward answer makes things better for you. Calm, steady, and not bothered. She possesses a strength that surpasses the power of 12 angry words. This matters because accepting her mistakes without letting them break you shows strength, not just kindness. When things are going well, it's easy to maintain composure, but when things go wrong, your character is truly tested. The Stoics often compared a wise person to a lighthouse. The lighthouse stands tall and steady as waves crash and winds howl. It's not that they don't know about the storm. The storm does not dictate what the lighthouse should do. She'll notice that you're different when you answer with grace and calm. She will notice that you are a reliable person who doesn't give up or act out in anger. Your calmness will interest and maybe even inspire her, and she'll start to wonder what it is about him that makes him so unbreakable. How is he so steady when everyone else would fall apart? And, let's be honest, isn't that the kind of impact you want to make? Not only someone who's there when things are going well, but also someone who can bring you peace and strength when things go wrong. Over time, this approach doesn't just make your relationship stronger, it also makes you stronger. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you're practicing the Stoic principle of controlling your inner world, and you're building resilience for both of you. So the next time she lets you down, don't take it personally. See it as a chance to be her calm in the storm. Shock her by letting her in. How steady you are. Goodness, not only will she see you differently, but you'll also see yourself differently. That's strength that lasts, and that's an image she'll never forget. 18. Freedom by freedom through letting go. Letting go is acceptance. It is the ultimate form of freedom. It doesn't mean you're okay with being disrespected or that you're settling for less than you deserve. Instead, it's about letting go of the need to control her actions or to demand explanations as Epicurus. The great Stoic philosopher once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond our control." When you embrace this mindset, you stop fighting battles that aren't yours to win, and you reclaim your energy for things that truly matter, your growth, your peace, and your purpose. Imagine this. She cancels plans at the last minute, and you were looking forward to seeing her in that moment. You have a choice. You could get upset, demand answers, and let the situation ruin your mood, or you could take a deep breath. Remind yourself that her choices are hers alone and decide to spend that time doing something meaningful for yourself. Maybe you hit the gym, call a friend, or dive into a project you've been putting off. Whatever it is, you've shifted the focus back to your own life where it belongs. This isn't about being passive or indifferent. It's about demonstrating a level of self-control and resilience that commands respect. When you show her and yourself that you're not rattled by her behavior, it creates a powerful dynamic. You're not trying to win her approval or reacting to every disappointment anymore. Instead, you're showing her that your worth doesn't depend on how she treats you. Here's the secret. People notice when you're not upset about things that would normally upset most people. They notice when you can handle disappointments with grace. This sudden calmness often prompts her to reflect on the rarity of encountering someone who doesn't shed tears when faced with disappointment. That's the kind of strength that attracts others. So the next time she lets you down, stop, take a step back, and ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, accept it with grace. Your power comes from focusing on your own growth and journey, and if you live this way, no one can bring you down. And that, my friends, brings us full circle to the main point of today's discussion. Life will always have times when people let us down, times that test our patience, our emotions, and our sense of self-worth, whether it's plans getting cancelled. We cannot prevent people from breaking their promises or neglecting us when we require assistance. But here's the most important thing to remember. How you handle these situations determines your growth. These problems are chances to not react quickly, but to rise above them, to build your character and keep your inner peace. By accepting things as they are, you take back control of your story, and don't let disappointment rule it. You define yourself by your strength and respect for yourself. Remember that choosing grace is not about hiding your feelings or acting like the hurt doesn't exist. As Stoics taught us, we can't control others' actions, but we can control our response to them. When you choose to stay calm, you're not only protecting your peace, you're also creating an energy that people will respect and admire. So take a moment to think. Are there situations in your life right now where you're letting someone else's behavior affect your mood or sense of self-worth? Have you ever reacted emotionally only to regret it later? Let this be the reminder you need to stop and think. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is truly within my control? This one question can change how you deal with relationships and life's problems. And here's something else to think about. When you handle disappointment with grace and understanding, you make others think about what they're doing. Your calm reaction becomes a mirror that shows them a side of your strength they may not have seen before. That's how you influence without forcing, leaving a lasting impression. Now, I'd love to hear what you think. Have you ever been surprised by how well you handled a tough situation, or how helpful it was to stay calm when everything else seemed to be going crazy? Share your stories in the comments below. They might inspire someone else in this community. If you found this video useful, please like it and share it with someone who could use it. But don't stop here. There's so much more to learn about relationships. Check out the suggested videos on your screen. Personal growth and being wise as a rock. Learn more about the philosophy that helps you stay grounded and strong in a world full of uncertainty. Thanks for being a part of this journey. Your support means a lot to me. I can't wait to talk to you again in the next video. Until then, remember to take care of yourself, maintain peace, and remember that you have the power to choose how you react. See you soon.